Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are at November the 17th, Wednesday. So we get to have prayer meeting together tonight. Looking forward to hearing all the testimonies of what's going on. So as we continue our reading through the Bible, we're dealing with the part of Genesis with Abraham and Sarai before the name is changed. And the fact that they decide to help God out a little there. And they're getting old and maybe a little concerned. And Sarai decided to take matters into her own hands and offered her servant to Abraham, and thus we have Ishmael. And this is an example of God being sovereign, God being in charge, but us being in control. He sets his plan. He let Abraham know what his plan is. Very simple. Laid it out. And it didn't make a lot of sense to Abraham because he's getting older, and how's it possible for him to have a child at this age? How's it possible? Sarah was beyond being able to have children, so that whole promise didn't make sense to him. But yet, it is God's promise and his plan. So Abraham did nothing different than maybe a lot of us do all the time. Instead of waiting for instructions, waiting for God's timing, because he has timing in everything, he has purpose in everything. We take it into our own hands. We know what he wants to do, so we do it for him. The only problem is we end up with a lesser work. So we have Ishmael, but Abraham failed to understand that Sarai was part of this promise. And we, in today's reading, we see that God again goes over his plan. And Sarai would be a mother of nations with many descendants. It wasn't just Abraham that was given this promise, Sarai was given this promise. And what they did is they left Sarai out of the promise completely. That is not God's plan. Now, just because we make mistakes, just because we do this, doesn't mean that God isn't going to bless whatever work has come out. He will use. He doesn't let anything go to waste. And so we see here with Ishmael that God did indeed bless him. And what did he promise? He would become 12 tribes. Something, isn't it? So Isaac, the promised child, becomes eventually 12 tribes. Ishmael becomes 12 tribes. It's just very interesting there. But Isaac is the child of promise. Ishmael is the work of the flesh. This is used later on in the Old Testament. This is taught in the New Testament. This is taught, but Isaac is that promise, that he's the promised child. He's the result of the promise. He's that seed, and Ishmael is just flesh work. It's just what Sarai and Abraham did on their own, bypassing Sarai and leaving her out of it completely. But God wasn't going to stand for that, and he brought it about anyway. This is again, we're given example after example after example in the Bible of how not to do things. There are certain things that we can admire in these people, but there's lessons there of this is what not to do. And what not to do, when God is giving you direction, then follow his plan. Follow the plan he has given. Don't bypass it. Don't get off track. Don't take side roads. Stick with what he said, even if it's taken a while. He has timing. We've already seen that in our readings. His timing. It's for a purpose. The day is decided, and He'll bring it about at that time. So just be encouraged in the day today. Be blessed in the day. Um, Continue to seek Him. Continue to press in. Continue to desire more. Uh, Continue to be open to Him, available to Him. In the season of fasting, sometimes it's hard because it's hard for us to concentrate. It's hard for us to hear all the time, but that's good because the more we press in, the deeper we go, and that's a good thing. So I'll see you all tonight, and you have a blessed day.